D-Note, man. We back with another reaction video, man. Let me know in the comments some other stuff y'all want me to react to, man. But we doing a catch-up with Eric and Jocelyn, man. Last catch-up, a couple catch-ups ago, man. Man proposed, man. They got married after a month. We're going to see if they got married, man. It don't look too good. He there, she not there in person. She might just live somewhere else, but it's like she on video call, so I'm guessing probably friends, though.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's your host Arlette and we are here today with Eric and virtually Jocelyn. Welcome guys. How are we feeling today?
Feeling good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Jocelyn, how are you?
I'm alright. Doing good. Thank you for asking.
Of course.
Ooh, she's shaking her head. I'm alright. Doing good. Looking good.
So we did have you guys on episode, gosh, what episode was that? 12?
12, yeah.
Yeah, episode 12 of Pop the Balloon or Find Love, where you guys did end up matching. Okay, so is it going to be a yes for you for her?
Yes.
And is it a yes for you for him?
Yes.
We got a match!
Okay, yeah, I do remember them actually. I do remember this episode, man. I doubt they worked out.
Okay, I'll take this mic and you guys can go on up. Oh, look at y'all go. Let's give it up for them, y'all. Let's give it up. And then, so, you know, from that point, Eric, we've had you on a few episodes, so we know quite a bit about you by now. Jocelyn, I think on there, you told us a little bit about yourself. If you want to just let us know.
You've been on a few episodes. You ain't gonna never find love, man.
A little bit more, like, you know, where you're from, what you like to do, all that good stuff.
Oh, all right. Well, hey you all again. I'm Jocelyn from Prince George's County, Maryland. I'm just a regular girl working a 9 to 5. Not really that interesting. So yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. And so,
You know you do something. You gotta do something. Gotta have something you do for fun or something. Dang.
on the show, we saw like you didn't really get any pop balloons on you. You did all of the popping. And near the last round, it was between Eric and another gentleman, Brian. What kind of made you lean more towards Eric instead of Brian? Because I feel like a lot of people were like, man, I felt like she was vibing with Brian. Like, I don't know if you felt that as well, but what kind of like helped you narrow down your thought process between the two of them?
Brian just didn't seem as genuine. It seemed like he was a flirt, and it didn't really seem like his words had actual meaning behind it. So that was one of the things that made me pop his balloon. Let me see what else. But he was great. The conversation was great. It just didn't seem like the words had value behind it. So that's what led to the process of elimination.
Okay. And then Eric, we kind of saw this time around, you weren't super fake, I guess we could say, but maybe it's a better selection. I don't know. What was it this time around?
You did have a pretty good selection this time for sure. Yeah. So.
Got it.
That helped. Yeah.
Okay. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Well, I know everyone just kind of wants to jump right into things already. So obviously, since you guys have matched on the show, have you guys gone on a date? Have you hung out? All that good stuff?
That's what we want to know.
Yeah, we've gone on multiple dates.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And, yeah, we've hung out. Yeah.
Okay. You said multiple.
Multiple dates, yeah.
Oh, Jocelyn, you want to hop in there? Let me know about how the first date went.
The first date was really cool. It was right after we had the recording there. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay. Who chose that spot?
Say that money, King. Take her to a good spot. Buffalo Wild Wings. Dang, I ain't been there in forever.
I tried to take her. I was looking for a nicer restaurant.
Okay.
But I was really impressed with the fact that she was.
Hey, don't explain yourself.
Just happy to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, which I think that told me a lot about her initially.
Okay.
You know, it just says that, yeah,
That's
you know.
real, man. Most girls, you know, they got a list of dates that they not accepting. She went to Buffalo Wild Wings, man. That shows she genuine, man. She a real one.
I'm just chill, and you don't have to try to impress me.
Okay.
God. Okay, so she
Pictures.
chose Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah,
Is
well,
it normal to take pictures on the first date? Is that normal? I think it's kind of weird.
yeah, she saw it and she was like, yeah, let's just go
Oh,
there. So,
okay. And then so this was right after the shooting, you said?
yeah.
Okay. And then from there, like, how did things go? How'd you guys, like, how was the communication? How'd you go about planning the second date?
Let me let her speak.
Jocelyn?
I'm sorry. So after that, we kept in contact. It was a lot of FaceTiming and a lot of just a lot of communication because we live in different states, different time zones, and we also have different schedules as well. So we kept in contact as much as possible. I would call him in the mornings. He would call me between his appointments. Like whenever he was working.
Appointments.
What is it called? Appointments.
Appointments.
Yeah, so he would call me between. So whenever we had time, we would contact each other, and it worked very well. Our second date was to Dave and Buster's, I believe. I think our second date was Dave and Buster's. He came to Austin, and we had a great time. Yeah.
Okay. So how soon after did you go over to Austin?
Well, we matched on the 1st of June.
Okay.
And so we spent 2 weeks on FaceTime getting to know each other, asking
Yeah.
questions and all that stuff. And then I was traveling, working. And so we ended up, I ended up coming to Austin, I think, on the 26th.
Oh, wow.
So-
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Was it 26th? 24th to 26th or so, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Nice.
then, just spent.
Who is recording this? What? It look like they in love right there. He done picked her all the way up for the hug. Hey, he did travel from, I guess, Arizona to Austin, man. Good little trip after a few weeks. Hey, that boy ain't playing.
The week beforehand, we were gonna do something else.
Okay, so the whole week you were out there in Austin, you guys were kind of like going out, doing different things.
Yeah,
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay, so Dave and Buster's was one of them that you did out there.
Dave and Buster's was the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Any other fun stuff?
Well, she showed me some places that she was fond of.
Okay.
Some place by the, it's like a river. What's the name of that river place that we went to?
It's like Lady Bird Lake. It was like a boardwalk. It was pretty nice. He bought Capri. Capri's like really cool, yeah.
Yeah. She's allergic to Capri, by the way.
Uh-oh.
I am.
Oh my gosh, what happened?
I got hives. It was actually really bad.
Hey,
Oh no.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how allergies work with, like, pets and
Immediately.
stuff.
Immediately.
Immediately.
wow.
Yeah, like I broke out in hives after Capri like touched me. It was yeah.
Oh, okay, so it was like he had. Sorry, is it a boy or a girl?
That's a girl.
A girl. Okay, so so she had to like touch you in order for that to happen, or was like just like being in the same area.
I really truly it's never happened to me before. Capri,
Oh my
like
gosh.
I don't know how it happened. I was just playing with Capri. Next thing you know, I have like hives all over my arms and my legs. So
Did you have to go to urgent care or like it?
I
what?
thugged it out. I thugged it out a little bit.
nightmare date right there. Having an allergic reaction and catching hives. That's crazy.
When I went home, I took a Benadryl and was knocked out. So it was cool.
Okay.
It wasn't too bad.
Got it. So that was the first and last time meeting Capri.
Yes. Oh no. Well, I think you've been around Capri since, right?
Okay.
Because
Probably.
you
I don't know.
you came to the Airbnb to pick me up and stuff, so you would see her at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And it happened again, or you popped a Benadryl beforehand?
No, I just kept her. I kept her away.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, so how was the time in Austin? Like, how was it? Like the time spending with each other, all that stuff.
It was cool. So I think you were downtown. I don't really want to give like where I live, but he was like downtown.
No, don't.
Yeah, he was a little bit further away from where I was staying. So whenever I got off of work, I would come down and see him. I think we hung out every day for the most part.
Yeah, give or take a couple of days. Well, there was one day actually, I think,
One day what?
because you had to go to Houston. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh.
My life, that's a story for another day. But yeah, I had to go to Houston. No, ever since the show aired, a lot of things have been happening. But I did have to go to Houston like one night, and then I came back, and that's the day I didn't see him. But other than that night, yes, I saw him every day.
Like every other day. Wow. Okay, sounds like you guys are spending a lot of time getting to really know each other, all that good stuff. Okay, and then so the week in Austin.
Right.
After that, have you guys kept communication? How was that going?
Yeah. So about 2 weeks in, I was very excited. We were getting to know each other. I had lists and lists upon lists of questions, and every time I met her up, I would ask her all these questions, just trying to get to know her.
Okay.
And I felt like we had a genuine connection, and it really hit me the fact that she wasn't really interested in like going to like nice places and was just happy to do regular things. So I thought it would be nice to do something special for her.
Okay.
So I asked her if she would like to go on a vacation trip to a European country of her choice. And
Well, all right then.
These people be moving fast. That is crazy. Real fast.
and so we ended up. She decided on Santorini because she had always wanted to go there. She'd never been there,
Okay.
and so I planned for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So after you guys, you said you got to know each other, speak all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Right away, you were like, all right, pick a European country.
Well,
Like-
I was already traveling, so I was
Okay.
I was on the road. I'd been on the road for a month, and so I was nearing the end of it. And I thought it was coincidental that I was ending up in Austin, and she lived in Austin. So I was saying at the end of this trip, I also need a break. So
Okay.
so it
Might
just
as well bring her
worked out
along.
that way. But
Got it.
yeah, I just wanted to, have fun and go out and do something adventurous together.
Dope.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Santorini, Greece. What made you pick that place? First of all, let me backtrack. Were you shocked that, someone who you just met was asking you like, girl, let me take you out of the country? Like, how was that?
It was definitely a shocking question. I haven't been asked that so early within like knowing a person.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was a love bomb, but hey, like I'm here for the delusion regardless. But I had a great time. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess obviously at that time, I know you said you don't want to say it was a love bomb, but obviously you were comfortable enough to be like, okay, I'll be okay with going out the country with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then so once you guys, got to Greece, how was that? Like, first of all, how was traveling together? Because like I know a
It's
lot of people are
different.
always like, man, traveling with someone really shows you how they are, all that stuff. Like, how was that?
That
I
is,
agree. I agree for sure. Definitely, it show you a lot.
to be fair, why I did it
Okay.
was because we were getting to know each other, and so I was thinking to myself, let's. It's not to say that we're speeding it up, but it's just to like know for sure.
Okay.
And I've had this experience before, where you travel with someone, and through that experience, you get to really see, the literal shits and the metaphorical shits of who they are, and they get to see you as well. And so I think at that point, you can make more certain decisions
Yeah.
about to proceed or not
Okay.
to proceed.
So in the beginning, the traveling there, that was good for you guys. Like how, Jocelyn. I guess we'll start with you, Jocelyn. Uh-oh. She's shaking her head.
No, traveling there was great. We weren't really sitting next to each other all the time.
Is
It's a
there reason?
booking error.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But overall, it was a great experience.
What, the traveling was a great experience, or the whole trip altogether?
I was specifically talking about like the traveling there part. It was pretty cool. It was nice.
Okay.
It wasn't like any issues traveling there.
Yeah, you roll
Got
like a
it.
trip.
Okay. So now, once you guys have gone to Greece, did you guys have like a whole itinerary planned? Like, who did the itinerary planning? I feel like you like to do that kind of stuff, or
I deferred to her.
okay,
I wanted to
good.
give her some options and see what she was into, but I think we tried to keep it loose so that
Okay.
every day would feel to some degree like a new
They cute.
adventure, you know.
They cute.
Okay. So you guys
Yeah.
didn't do too many like activities, or you didn't plan too much. Kind of like.
I had an idea of an activity for each day.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
there was definitely food involved,
I hope
restaurants,
so.
and yeah, restaurant dates and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, walk me through the trip. Like, what'd you guys do? How did it
I'll get into
go?
it.
Um, well, the first day we just went to a restaurant down from where we were staying,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a very nice apartment overlooking the city. You know, could watch the sunrise, watch the sunset. It was really
Nice.
nice. We went on a boating trip
Mm-hmm.
to see some of the tinier islands,
Okay.
and yeah, I was just different restaurants.
Okay.
Really, yeah.
Nice.
Rented an ATV, and that's how we got around.
Very cool. So you
Yeah.
had the ATV for the whole duration of the trip?
Yeah,
First fire.
Okay,
Wow.
I didn't know that was.
That's
yeah, yeah. No, over there you could just ride ATVs. You know, like
Wow.
yeah,
Because I know
cool.
like I obviously I haven't been to
Yeah.
Greece, but
Yeah.
every time I look at Greece and other people's videos, I just see like a bunch of hills and houses on top of
yeah.
houses.
No,
so
it's tough to navigate for sure.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, "Hey, how y'all riding an ATV out there?"
Yeah.
Okay,
But,
and obviously, Jocelyn, you chose the place. So, like, did you have things in mind already that you're like, okay, when we get there, we have to do this? And were you guys able to do them?
Yeah, everything I wanted to do, we did. There was this
Okay.
area, like this town called Oye or Oya. It's where most of the houses are white, but there's a few blue tops, like blue
Oh,
roofs.
I've seen that. Yeah.
That was the
I've
main
seen
thing
that
I
a lot.
wanted to do. So we saw that, and it was nice. We watched the sunset
Nice.
from there.
Okay. Okay. And obviously, I can tell like with the viewers and everyone and here I can feel that there is quite a lot of tension going on.
Yeah.
So, how did that trip end? Or
Arlette, why are you always trying to get to?
let's get to it because I'm
Always
feeling
trying to
a
get to
lot
that.
of vibes right now, and I don't know if it happened on the trip, after the trip, or who wants to start it off?
Come on, spill the bean.
We had our very first argument on the 29th.
Not you remembering the date.
Well, I'm a very detailed person.
Okay.
You know, I take a lot of notes. I try to be
No.
introspective, you know. So like, yeah, it wasn't really a big deal. But would you like? Should I talk about it or?
I would just like to say that we realized on this trip that we're not as compatible as we thought we were. We just had disagreements, and we just realized that we're great people. We're just not great for each other. And I personally would like to leave it at that.
A trip to Greece is a crazy way to find out that you're not compatible, man. Hey, that's what he wanted to find out. He found out, man. Bad investment.
Even I will be fair. I will be honest. I am to some degree stumped at the decision not to continue, and we've spent a lot of time throughout the argument working through, the reactions,
Dang.
but never really addressing the initial cause.
Okay.
And it did start off with her just saying she wants to leave, and
The first disagreement, she said, "I'm
that was the
leaving."
second disagreement.
Oh,
The
okay.
first disagreement was when I came to her place,
Austin.
the first time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I was staying at an Airbnb, but
What do y'all think happened, man? She obviously realized that she didn't want to rock with Brett no more. Y'all think he tried to smash? Y'all think he tried to get in there and that's what happened? What y'all think happened, man? Let me know in the comments, man.
the last day I decided we were gonna go over there and pack and stuff, but everything was everywhere messy. She seemed like she was doing a lot, so I wanted to step in and help. So I was going in to move some shoes around, and then she was reprimanded me, I guess is the way to say it, and just like that would piss her off for me to move stuff around. And so
Did you
I
ask her
felt-
before you just
They
started?
arguing about shoes? Oh my gosh. But why you touching your stuff though, man? I don't like people touching my stuff. Some people like their stuff a certain way, man. I feel it.
of
Well,
stuff?
I didn't.
Okay.
But
He said he didn't ask. He didn't ask if she wanted him to do that. So why you doing it, man? Why you doing it? I had to stop my camera, but yeah, we back, man. We back.
but that's the thing is, I didn't want to make a big deal of it. She asked me to take the trash out,
Okay.
and I did. But I also felt like she had said to me that she would like to keep an open space, a safe space where I could just tell her things in the moment. So I think for me it was also a good point to test that out. Is it okay for me to tell you that the way you're saying that to me made me feel some type of way?
Okay.
So
So obviously you guys worked through that
worked
one.
through it.
'Cause
Yeah.
you went to Greece afterwards still, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and we
That's
talked about
crazy.
it. Talked about it a bit at the airport, and then we went on a trip. Everything was great up until I think the fifth day or so. I don't want to go into too many details, just out of respect to her as well.
Yeah.
But I
5 days with somebody that you just met. That's kind of crazy, man. It must have been longer than 5 days because the fifth day when they got into it, but it's out the country, so it got to be a long vacation. But dang, maybe they should start somewhere in the country, man. That's a long vacation to be with somebody that you don't know, you're not really all the way comfortable with. I feel it, man.
think that at some point I also, she wants to go slower, slow, which is fine. I was trying to be respectful of that as a boundary, but I felt that I'd been just going on at her speed for
Okay.
most of the time. So I also wanted to set some boundaries to help me respect her boundaries. So I think that's where the initial communication malfunction occurred, perhaps. And she, to backtrack, I when people argue, everyone argues a certain way. My way of calming down is to take breaks and move away and relax, write things down, and then come back and talk about them. And I
gotta write
told her this in the
everything
beginning.
down.
We were trying to figure out our argumentative styles. So when this happened, I took a break and I went to sit on a stoop, and and so while I was there just talking to a friend of mine, she sent me a text that she wanted to leave and asked if I could take her to the airport.
This is in Greece.
That was in Greece, like
Okay.
about the fifth day or so.
Bro, what did they argue about that you just want to leave Greece immediately? It must have been something big. Neither one of them want to talk about it. Like, come on, man. Y'all spill the beans, man. I ain't come up here to hold it in.
And so I was just like, well, we have an ATV, first of all, so I can't drive you to Greece. But I didn't want to do it. I said, if you want to go, you can go. But I asked her not to go. I said, just take a moment, calm down, relax, and then you can decide later on. So that was kind of where things started spiraling.
Okay, so Jocelyn, Eric kind of touched on a bit that at one point during the trip, I believe you said on the fifth day, you said that, yeah, I'm leaving, all that stuff. What led you to come to that point?
What led me to come to that point was how we disagreed. We said words that were hurtful to each other. And I held grudges against him, which caused me to be uncomfortable while being there. And I didn't want to be uncomfortable on a vacation when it's supposed to be a good time. The way we handled the situation in general just showed ourselves. Like I showed off, he showed off, and then it just wasn't a comfortable environment to be in, especially for it to be in a different country and we don't really know each other. I just didn't feel at ease being there for more days with him. So
4 more days. A 9-day vacation with somebody you just met that you don't even know if y'all like each other like that yet. That is crazy. Or they thinking?
felt like at the time the best way to get out of an uncomfortable situation is to leave. I'm not saying that was the best decision. Maybe I could have stayed and talked to him and talked it out, but at the time, I did what felt right to me.
They toxic.
Okay. And so you did actually end up leaving.
Yes, I left.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then so after you left, have you guys been in any type of contact, any communication? You have?
Yeah, so after we left, Eric still had to come back to my apartment because we shared a suitcase coming there. So he still came back to my apartment. We talked it out. We hugged. Like, we had like every discussion, every disagreement we had, we talked about off camera, and I've apologized. He's apologized. A lot of things were already discussed. So when he came back to the apartment, like, it was fine. At least in my head, it was fine. I walked him to the door. It was cool. Like, in my head, it was cool. And even afterwards, when he flew back to Las Vegas, I checked on him to make sure he landed safely, making sure he's getting sleep. He told me he has more appointments. So we did keep in contact for the day after when we landed back in the States.
Okay. I see here. Jocelyn, you stated, like, you guys were having disagreements. You were saying, like, hurtful things to one another, all of that. How was it, like, dealing with those disagreements?
It was aggravating. We were disagreeing on things that we were disagreeing about the boundaries that we both set for each other, which is just very childish on both of our ends. But after that, we chose to react off of our emotions at the time. So, in the morning time, I didn't really think that the situation was as bad as it was. But in the morning time, like, Eric had like left, and I think you were doing laundry. I mean, he had things to do. I don't really want to say he was just up and left, but just that entire day, for the most part, we didn't really speak. It was either he was in the room and I was in the living room, or he was out shooting footage, or he was out doing laundry. So we just really weren't talking on the day after we had that huge disagreement. It was to the point, it was almost as if we were avoiding each other. And it was just weird.
So you got up the next day and just says,
Well,
do your own
I
thing?
told her beforehand that I had to do laundry. I'd run out of clothes. I travel with a bag, So I went out to do laundry. I went out running 3 miles up the hill. I was tired. When I came back, I went to bed. But before I went to bed, we'd made a plan, something she wanted to go see, about 5 p.m. or so.
Okay.
And I'd slept through it. And when I woke up, I asked her, hey, you still want to go do that thing? And she's like, no. So I was like, okay, well, if you don't mind, I'm going to go and shoot some pictures or something. I'd lost the key to the apartment. So I had to go back and look for it. So that's what I did instead. So I was going back to the location where I'd run to. I found the key, I came back. And that's then where we had another set of conversations.
Okay.
Because she kind of called me to the couch and like, hey, what's going on? And so I told her, I was like, nothing is wrong. I'm fine. I just feel like I have to be a bit more distant about cuddling and, kissing, because it feels sometimes when I try to do it, it seems like you're uncomfortable. You kind of back away.
Okay.
She wants to kiss. She doesn't want to make out, things like that. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to be too overbearing. So I'm going to kind of create a little bit of a boundary. Still want to go do things, but she didn't wake me up, and she said that I should have set an alarm. So, I called her passive. I said that was a passive statement because we're in this together. So,
That's crazy.
wake me up. And
You can't wake the man up. He done took you out the country. You can't wake him up. You mad at him because he ain't set an alarm. You could have just woke him up. What's wrong with people, man?
So all of this was before she said, I'm leaving?
no, she'd already said she was leaving in the afternoon.
Hey, man, this is a good episode right here. Hey, toxic, man. This is crazy. The whole situation crazy, man.
Okay.
So she just decided. I mean, this is literally I went outside to take a break, and she sent me a text, I'm going to the airport. It was so abrupt, it caught me off guard. So I was like, like, what's this nonsense? The Nigerian in me came in, and I was like, I don't understand what you mean you're leaving. Go take a break and relax. If you want to get an Airbnb, go get an Airbnb. You don't leave, there's nothing to leave.
So how long did you guys have this trip booked for?
7 days.
7 days, okay. And then Jocelyn, you ended up leaving on the
7
5th day. Or the 6th day, or what day was it?
Was it the 4th? Was it the 5th day?
6th.
How did I get 9? I thought she said 4 more days. I don't know. I must be tripping. But yeah, 7 days.
I left on the 6th day? Okay.
You left on the 6th day, yeah.
I see. Okay, so with him, with that thing
Stay
you
one
guys
more
wanted to
day?
do, you didn't want to just like wake him up, or what was going on with that part?
Good question.
So, we already knew that there was tension before then. Before he took the nap, before everything, like the big argument happened the day before. So when he went to sleep, I don't know, it's like, I don't really know how to explain it. I could have woken him up, to answer your question. I could have woken him up. However, it was already talked about what I wanted to do. It was already a time that we set.
No explanation. No reason you couldn't wake him up. There's no explaining that. No way. What's wrong?
I don't know. I'm just considerate. So if I would have done that to somebody else, or somebody else would have planned something that they really wanted to do and they're dependent on me for transportation, I would have made sure that I was
Wake him up.
present for that moment. And I never woke
She finna piss me
Eric
off.
up ever. I don't wake people up out of their sleep. I would hate for somebody to wake me up out of my sleep. We actually talked about this as well. Like, that's something that we just don't do.
Oh, that's different.
I don't wake
If y'all going somewhere, nah, man, she
people
about to piss
up.
me
That's
off.
one
Not
thing
cut
I
this
don't
off.
like. If you oversleep, like, you oversleep. Like, it wasn't a life or death situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he overslept, then he overslept. I was upset back in the day, like, we didn't go to something I wanted to do. Okay, like,
About to break
it was fine.
So would you say like that was like the last straw for you, him oversleeping?
No, the last straw was the day before. I don't really know. So with me, it's like once my mind is made up on something, it's pretty much made. So when I booked the flight, it was kind of like already like anything he did after that was kind of like, okay.
Hey, at least she had somebody to book the flight back, man. At least she had somebody. She didn't come out there all the way broke, or broke already.
I'm leaving
So
soon anyway.
On this 7-day trip, or 6, I think you said you left on the 6th. On what day did you realize, yeah, this is it for me, I'm done?
That's a great question. It wasn't. Let me see. Give me a second. I don't really
She don't even know
remember
what to say.
what day it was when it hit me like I'm done. It was just a feeling that I had when I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not arguing anymore.
Okay.
I'm not being upset anymore. You know, it wasn't necessarily like, oh, this day I got mad. It was just really like a feeling like I don't want to feel like this. I don't have to feel like this. You know, so that's really what happened. I don't know what day that was. I really don't know. It was probably the day I booked the flight, to be honest. But I just had a feeling. I'm like, I don't want to argue with this man anymore. I don't want to be uncomfortable in a foreign country with this man anymore. So that's really what it was.
understandable.
But afterwards, I didn't want to have a dating relationship with Eric anymore because I think Eric can still be a great person. So I was
Vacation,
hoping
friend.
that we can have a platonic, just cordial friendship afterwards. I know I didn't want to date him anymore, but I didn't want it to be as if he's out of my life completely, because he is cool. Like, Eric is a cool guy. Like, honestly, he's cool. He has a lot of skills, plays instruments. He's a really cool guy, honestly. He has a lot of great qualities about himself. I just didn't want to date him anymore. So, yeah.
Okay. Eric,
If it ain't meant to be, it ain't meant to be.
anything you want to add to that? So we could just wrap this up.
I take notes, so I have the dates. July 5th was the day we went to dinner. It was the day that we had a conversation. You asked me to tell you what my expectations were of you. I told you that I would like more hugs. I said you're bad at hugs. Remember that? So she said, yeah, I'm going to work on that, you know. And I told her that I felt like...
See, you shouldn't have to tell nobody that. You shouldn't have to tell nobody that. Then for you to take out the country on a vacation, it's crazy.
Every time I gave her hugs, maybe she was feeling like it was trying to lead to something else. I'm like, no, the hug is really just a hug. Like, just put your arm around my head, and that's all it needs to be, you know?
Better get that man, son. Took you out the country.
And so she's like, yeah, I'll do better. And that was that. The dinner was great. The next morning is when I went for the run early, and I wake up early, I go for the run. So when I came back, she wanted to have a conversation that afternoon because she said things were seeming weird and I seemed distant. So I was trying to explain to her why I was distant. First of all, I was tired, but second of all, I'm just trying to give you some space, and I don't want to feel like I'm overcrowding you, essentially. And it was literally within 20 minutes of that conversation, she sent me the text, "Can you take me to the airport?" So it came out of nowhere, literally.
Okay. All right. Well, after this trip,
Wrap it up.
did you guys, I know you said, did you guys communicate at all after this trip, or was she left and that was it? I think you had mentioned you guys shared a suitcase, so eventually you had to see him again. So how did that happen?
It was cool. Like, honestly, so from everything that we just expressed
I don't want to hear her talk no more.
to us getting back to Austin, we had conversation. Everything seemed fine. We came to understanding that we both said things that didn't need to be said. We both did things that didn't need to be done. Like, we've had conversations and everything was fine in my eyes. I thought everything was fine. When we got back to Austin, we talked about the trip. We said our goodbyes. He got his stuff, walked him to the door. He left. Yeah, and the next day he took a flight. I checked on him. I was like, "Hey, are you at the airport? Did you make it there on time?" He was like, "Yeah." It was just regular. It was regular conversation, as if you're checking in on a person who's taking a flight. That's really what it was. I made sure he landed.
But meanwhile, I was like, why are you checking in on me after you've just walked away from me? You know? Like, I'm like, the thing was
What?
weird to
Like, how does that
me
make
because I
sense?
was like, if this is a simple
That would've pissed
disagreement
me off
two
more.
people can have, we've apologized to each other, so we continue. It's two
That boy
arguments.
still
It's
want
not
her.
enough
That's
to
crazy.
decide you don't
I
want to
wash
speak
my
to someone
hands with
anymore.
her.
So in
It's
your head,
crazy.
after that trip and, after she was checking in on you, you were still in the thought process that you guys were still dating?
After the I'm sorry, I forgive you, I forgive you.
No,
I thought,
she
okay,
left.
yeah, we're
She left
back
the
on track.
vacation.
We've sorted it out.
Okay.
You left the vacation. It's over with. Why you still trying to chase her, man? It's over with. It's done.
So
And then, so how did you
Mito.
find out that you guys are no longer dating?
well, she sent me some pictures to edit. I edited the pictures. I sent them back to her. We, she went to London, which we by the way, we had a whole day because she booked the trip at 6 p.m. on the 6th. So we had still the whole day to spend together. We were sitting on the couch. We were cuddling on the couch.
This
finally.
is in Austin?
No, this was still.
Oh,
This
so
was
you're
the day after.
backtracking back to
I'm
Greece.
backtracking, yeah. So she's already had a decision to leave. She's already bought the tickets. There's nothing we can do about that.
Okay.
We've apologized to each other. She's more calm. I'm more calm. So from that point on, I'm like, okay, well, maybe everything's fine.
Okay.
So the next day, when the day
When she
the
leaves.
6th, yeah, the day she's leaving, we're still cuddling on the couch. Like we watched a movie together. We went to breakfast. So that's where the confusion is, because it's like, if you're that angry, why are you so comfortable still being next to me?
You got a point. He got a point. He definitely got a point.
me, still cuddling with me. See what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it just creates a lot of
So
confusion
then,
for me.
from Austin to Las Vegas, she said obviously she's checking on you, make sure you get there okay. In
Yeah.
your head, everything's still good.
No, when I got to her apartment, I had to ask her one last time. I'm like, tell me straightforward.
done.
Are we still good? Are we not good? Are we not dating?
Yeah.
She's like, no, I have no interest in further dating. So I was
Okay.
like, all right, sounds good. I won't bring it up anymore.
Got
And
it.
from
So
that point
that
on,
was the last point.
from that point on, yeah, it was done. But the next morning, she's still checking on me on my flights. So again, see what I'm saying? I'm like, if we're done, why are you checking on
She
me?
want to be
I mean, she
friends.
said she thinks you're a
wanna be
cool
friends,
person.
though.
I understand, but
You're
I'm
a
not.
human
I'm
being
not.
that she
I'm not
cared for at one
looking. I'm not
point.
looking for no friends. I got
I feel it.
plenty female friends that are just my friends.
Okay.
So it's like if we're not dating, like
So you want to just
cut the losses
cold
and move
turkey,
on.
That's it. We're done.
yeah, which is what I tried to do. I just didn't respond anymore, and I was just just letting it fizzle out. It's only been a month. That's not anyone can recover from that.
Yeah.
There's no hard emotional
Man, it
investment.
seemed like he was in love,
Okay.
man.
All right. Well,
He seemed emotionally
Obviously,
invested.
It's just how it goes sometimes.
yeah. Well, that's pretty much everything I had. Any final thoughts on your end? No,
He ain't
Jocelyn.
had nothing to say the whole time.
All right. So, any upcoming projects that we should be on the lookout from either one of you,
That's
Jocelyn?
crazy, man. That's crazy. Done with this, man. Done with this. That was hard.